Welcome to Strength for Today for January 30th. Moses wrote about me. Let's look at John 5, verse 46. John 5, we'll do 45 and 46. But do not think I will accuse you before the Father. Your accuser is Moses, of whom your hopes are set. If you believed Moses, you would believe me, for he wrote about me. But since you do not believe in what he wrote, how are you going to believe what I say? Moses wrote about me. Moses lived 2,000 years before Jesus, yet our Lord insisted that he himself, Jesus of Nazareth, was the subject of Moses' writing in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. That's quite a claim, but Jesus was actually understating the truth. Not only did Moses write about him, but so did the psalmists, the prophets, and all the other writers of the Old Testament. The Hebrew Scriptures had only one ultimate aim: to introduce the Messiah to the world. They described him, predicted him, explained him, anticipated him, and commended him. Some people never have inward flutters about their faith. They are so convinced the Bible is true that doubt doesn't rattle them. But other Christians have occasional moments when they say, "Is this really true? Is Christianity true?" After all, the secular world attacks the Christian faith every day. Isn't that the truth? The fulfillment of Old Testament prophecy about Jesus reassures our faith. Jesus is on every page, and he himself is the fulfillment of prophecies made hundreds of years before his birth. The Old Testament gives us a firm foundation for faith. And I know a lot of people just think, oh, we don't need the Old Testament. It's so old, right? And we just want to talk about Jesus and the New Testament. But the Old Testament is always looking towards Jesus. Like they said, they predicted him, they described him, they were always waiting for the Messiah to come. So there is a lot in the Old Testament that we can learn from. And it's really interesting too that that Jesus felt like Moses was writing about him, because he was. So anyway, I hope you take some time to look through the Old Testament, especially Genesis, that talks about creation in the first chapter. And then the third chapter talks about our sin and the fall of man. But then, you have to have all of that in the Old Testament to be the reason for Jesus coming in the New Testament. So it all kind of goes together. I hope you have a great day today, reflecting back on the Old Testament and reading the New Testament. And we'll see you back here tomorrow. You can order your own copy of Strength for Today by Dr. David Jeremiah by going to davidjeremiah.org or calling Turning Point at 877-998-0222. And I would like to answer any question you may have about faith in Jesus. Just email me through my website, nancyjoytoyou.com. I hope you lean on God's strength and have a fantabulous day.